Well, today I'm going to Westminster Magistrates Court, to the I think it's called the Melbourne area of London, to see the Tooting 5, as it's their court day today. And of course, many of you will remember the Tooting 5 getting their wrongful arrests close to Tooting back in April 6 or something like that. Anyway, the Tooting 5 got charged for peaceful protests. Let's have a read of this, see what it's all about. The Tooting 5 were arrested at a peaceful ULEZ protest in April, just for not moving quickly enough when asked. Some were elderly and disabled. They were bailed to return to Charing Cross Police Station on the 5th of July, and the expectation was that the charges would be dropped. But this was not the case, and are now to appear at Westminster Magistrates Court on the 9th of August, today, at 2 o'clock. They were arrested on section 42A, which is basically terrorist charges, but I'm told that they've been dropped and now they're just going to do something like obstruction. I don't see how you can be arrested on terrorist charges and then done for obstruction a month or so later. Ridiculous. Anyway, the Tooting ULEZ protests, I mean, all the previous protests are passed with limited police presence and no trouble at all. They were organised in advance, usually good-natured, and happened between 12 and 3 p.m. So locals and the police knew exactly what was happening. As time went on, each protest had a fun title or theme and were always family friendly. Protests took place in many locations around outer London border of the extended ULEZ zone. Where are we? Monthly in Trafalgar Square, so people could come together from all corners of London, and a few at the inner zone border. 2 previous and peaceful protests took place in Tooting, one at the station and one whole weekend event at the Common, about 800 metres from the event on the 6th of April, where the wrongful arrests happened. Let's have a look. Tooting was chosen for 2 reasons. One was that it was Sadiq Khan's hometown, so they were hoping to bring awareness closer to the source, as he had ignored all the protests on previous occasions, unwilling to meet anybody and far too happy to dismiss with insults. The other reason is that Tooting is on the border of the inner and extended zone and close to the Streatham Wells LTN that caused so much disruption that it had to be suspended. At no point was anyone intending to protest outside Sadiq Khan's house or to cause distress to his family. The police response. The event started as planned. The early protesters set up a gazebo and banners, even helped by a few local police who were already in place. Remember, these police, the locals, knew what was going on. Mind you, so did some others, didn't they? There was no indication that they were not allowed to be there, and as peaceful protest is still permitted, there was no reason to suspect anything untoward would happen. During the first hour or so, the police started to amass. Protesters arriving late were surprised and horrified to report that they had seen riot vans lined up in the back streets. All somewhat unusual and very worrying. What they were expecting to happen at some point later, the protesters were told to disperse and started to pack up. The events that followed can be seen in the videos taken on the day. Go on to YouTube and Google Tooting 5. Taken on the day with more personal viewpoints in the subsequent radio and YouTube interviews. BBC did a lot, so it's worthwhile just Google the Tooting 5 and you'll find some really good interviews with the truth being told instead of the lies that come out of Khan's mouth. I won't go through them all because it's just you can look it up yourself, but it is just ridiculous. And to be honest, if those 5 don't get an innocent verdict today, we won't only have 2-tier policing, we will have 2-tier judging. And in my own personal view, there is no way that this would have ever got to court in the first place if it didn't have Khan's name on it. So that's my opinion, and it's fingers crossed for a few hours' time when they go to court. Thanks for listening. I'm back. That was an interesting day. Most of us couldn't get into court, although they did manage to let the wives, partners, into the court, and after about an hour of it all being late, Kevin came out to tell us that his case had been dumped, cancelled, and there would be no more charges for him. So he was the first one in. So that was great news. And then about another half an hour or so later, our other 4 friends came out with not quite such good news, in that they've got to return to the court on the 27th of November for a trial. I believe that I'm going to say I hope it won't come to that, because with the mistakes that the police have already made on the night of charging, which I won't go into, but a serious mistake, plus the fact that they basically said at the moment they haven't got enough evidence. So we will see what happens. I'm just hoping the whole thing will be cancelled before it goes to court, but if not, it will go to court and there will be so much evidence for the Tooting 4. Of course the Tooting 5 don't exist anymore, only the 4. There'll be so much evidence that the police are going to look absolutely ridiculous, and of course they don't like doing that, do they? So what do? They'll cancel, they'll stop the case, nothing to answer, etc. So anyway, that's it. I'll show you the rest of it, and thanks again for watching.
They said, the prosecution said, do you know what? They were all interviewed under caution at the police station. Well, that didn't happen. So already the prosecution case is unravelling, which is why the CPS needs to review this straight away and make sure that it is dropped, because it is a waste of public money and public time, court time and effort taking these people to a trial. And the other thing is, they don't even know whether they want to call Sadiq Khan as a witness. And let's face it, he would be the most reliable witness you could ever get, isn't he? You know, I mean, so actually, we do want him as a witness because we know how unreliable he is. But of course, we don't need to worry about that. But what we've got to do is show support for these guys and make sure that on the 27th of November we come back to this magistrates court, and they've got to come back and support them again because they are innocent, they are not guilty, and they should be released and have this, which is sword of Damocles, taken away from hanging over their head. It's time to move on and get them all out of it.
Well said, Simon.
Everybody for coming. Thanks for the support. It does mean a lot. It really does mean a lot.
Not far right. Right so far. Not far right. Right so far. Just right. Just right. Just right.
Exactly that. He's getting there. As he said, he's something. We do a group photograph. Come on.
Well, we're going to have a group photo. So this is me in the group photo.